and are hoping to set a precedent when it comes to things now. So let's head on over to Cape Town. Our very own Mariska Botha is standing by for us. Mariska, the sentiment out in Cape Town itself, is it one where the DA is still maintaining that stronghold, or are you getting a sense that voters are beginning to shift differently?
Yes, good afternoon to you. We're coming to you from inside hall, first of all, because it is raining outside. We are actually stationed in the Overberg district of the Western Cape, where there's voting happening here in Grabouw, where we are. The presiding officer very kindly allowed us inside because it is pouring rain outside. Well, the sentiment that we get here, the only thing I can say at this stage is that people are very keen to vote. Who they're voting for, we will only find out by tomorrow. But earlier we might have thought that many people might have abstained because of uncertainty or how things have been going. But certainly what we've been seeing on the ground here in the Overberg district, early on this morning in Hermanus, Zwelithini, and now here in Grabouw, there's a steady stream of voters coming in. Voting is progressing at a steady pace, and it seems that people are keen to cast their ballots. And those people that we have spoken to, asking them why they want to vote, they all say that they're hoping things will be better for them, things will change for them, especially here in the rural areas. People telling us that they've been voting along certain lines for many years, since 1994, and that maybe it's time that they tried something else. As to who they're voting for, we don't know. The first thing people tell us in general, my vote is my secret, and that is of course their right. But I can report that if we thought that people might abstain from voting, we're certainly not seeing that in Zwelithini, Hermanus and Grabouw, where we are right now. People are voting.
Positive sentiment to get that actually out of those areas as well, Mariska. If we take a look at just how things are faring, Mariska, if I could keep you online there, are you getting the sentiment though that perhaps people are thinking otherwise as to a certain change does need to happen, whether it be just with regards to their province alone or perhaps just to the country, not necessarily saying what they're voting for, but how exactly things need to shift in South Africa in order to better the economy, to better service delivery, to better things that are essential, and to obviously get a hold of the service delivery protests which are happening across the country?
Well, there you're tapping into something very important, because we were deployed in the Overberg district because of those violent service delivery protests that we have seen here last year in particular. This morning, the area where we were, Zwelithini, next to Hermanus, the protesting there was so severe that it was a no-go zone in and out of Zwelithini. People there fighting for land, fighting for housing, and since those protests last year, 2 informal settlements have sprung up there. So that gives you a sense of what people are striving for, looking for. And we thought that when we came here Sunday already, we would see that same kind of strife that we encountered last year when we came. But it was all peaceful and calm. But what we do hear from most people is that they want land. We've seen that all over, heard that all over. We also saw that with some land invasion in the city of Cape Town also. So that's one of the sentiments that pops up a lot that we hear. And then also people speaking about employment. That's certainly one of the crucial issues. Everybody we speak to who are not necessarily in a big town center, who is not employed, employment is one of those crucial factors. And people are saying yes, they're looking for improvement of their lives, whether that means changing the current regime or government, we won't know, but they are certainly saying these are key issues that they were thinking about and they were contemplating before casting their vote. I may just add, in the run-up to the elections, we gathered a sense from people in general. I don't know if your analysts might agree with that a lot of people were uncertain about who they were going to vote for the first time in a long time. So those are some of the sentiments that people were taking into consideration before coming to cast their ballots. But as I've said, certainly here, Grabouw is in a rural area. In the rural area, people are making their voice heard. They're coming out to vote. In this centre alone, there's about 4,000 people registered, and they've already, a quarter of those 4,000 people have already come to cast their ballots, and it's not even halfway through the day. As you can see there, the voting action taking place. So those are some of the sentiments that people have told us. Land is certainly one, and unemployment.
7 hours and 42 minutes. Mariska Botha, thank you so much for the time out there in Cape Town, of course, giving us an update. But just the sentiment out in the Grabouw in particular right now, which is where she is. As I said, 7 hours and 42 minutes is how much time is left, of course. South Africa, do go out and vote, make that mark, and certainly do tell government who you want to lead the country in this 6th Democratic General Election, which is, of course, kicking off. We'll head off now to Platfontein, where our very own Refilwe Mekwa is standing by there, and one can talk about just voter turnout, and that steadily has been decreasing since 1994. And the situation here is that you could have 20.4 million South Africans being the ones that vote out of a possible 35 million who are eligible to vote. Of course, we only had 27.6 million voting in South Africa, and that is perhaps a sentiment that political parties will want to change. Get South Africans out there, get them voting, thinking that at the very least you will be able to make a change as a political party. Are you getting that sense, Refilwe Mekwa, who is of course out in Platform?